For years, you've been searching for the hideout of the notorious bank robber, Butch McLean. Even though he's long been dead, none of the money he stole from over 100 banks has ever been recovered. An anonymous tip has led you to a long-abandoned gas station off a sleepy country road. You begin to poke around the exterior of the rundown building. The doors are locked and the windows are caked over with grime and dirt. You notice nothing out of the ordinary, and you start to grow discouraged. As you walk around to the back of the building, you feel the ground shift beneath your feet. In an instant, you plunge downward as the ground gives way and you fall through into a concealed basement or tunnel below. For a moment, you lay stunned on your back in the darkness. Miraculously, you appear to be unhurt, somehow avoiding breaking an ankle as you collapse to the ground. Aside from a dusty light filtering down from the hole in the ceiling above you, you're in total blackness. What would you like to do first?
Go east.
Gingerly, you rise to your feet and grope your way over to a wall, feeling around until you stumble upon a light switch. Given the rundown state of the gas station, you're not hopeful, but to your surprise the light flicks on and illuminates the room. You see that you're in a surprisingly modern room, far more up to date than the gas station's exterior. There's a table in the center of the room, with a dusty bottle of whiskey and a glass. To the eastern wall is a shelf on which appears to be a few assorted items. On the southern wall hangs a television set, and to the western part of the room is a soda vending machine. To the north is a doorway. Your excitement begins to build as you realize that you've done it. You've discovered the hideout of Butch McLean. What would you like to do next?
Go east.
You walk over to the east wall and examine the large shelf. The first thing that draws your eye is the revolver. It's short-nosed and jet black, and a slight chill runs down your spine as you imagine Butch McLean pointing the gun at a terrified bank teller. Besides the gun, there are a variety of other objects: a baseball cap with a St. Louis Cardinals insignia on it, what appears to be an empty box of matches, and a book titled Miracle on the Mississippi. What would you like to do?
Take matches.
You pick up the empty box of matches. Wait. You hear a rattle. Apparently 1 or 2 matches still remains. You take the box of matches and place it in your pocket. What's next?
Look at the book.
You pick up the book. On the cover is an illustration of a riverboat, and the author is listed as Edward B. McLean. A relative of Butch McLean's, maybe? Idly, you open the book at random, and find that there's a cutout in the center of the book. Inside the hollowed-out cavity is a brass key. You pocket the key and set the book back down. What would you like to do?
Go north.
You walk over to the door, which is windowless with a brass doorknob. You try the knob, but it appears to be locked. A keyhole in the doorknob indicates that you'll need to find a key if you wish to go through the door. What would you like to do?
Go to the table.
You look down at the table in the middle of the room. There's a bottle of whiskey on the table, about 3/4 of the way full. A dusty glass sits by the bottle of spirits. You also notice a newspaper on the table, from what looks like the Chicago Tribune. The headline reads, "Daylight Heist Terrifies City." It looks as though Butch McLean wasn't above reading about his own exploits. You notice some doodling in blue pen on the margins of the first page of the newspaper, though the doodlings don't appear to mean anything. What do you want to do?
Take whiskey bottle.
You grab the whiskey bottle and carry it with you. What would you like to do?
Go north.
You walk over to the door, which is windowless with a brass doorknob.
Alexa, open the door.
You insert the key into the doorknob, and it turns easily. You twist the doorknob and open the door, leading into a hallway stretching into the darkness. You find a switch at the beginning of the hallway and flip it on, and light fills the hallway. At the far end of the hall is another door, seemingly identical to the one you just opened. Midway down the hallway is a door marked as a bathroom, and along the other wall of the hallway are a series of framed photographs.
Go west.
As you walk down the hall, you take a look at the framed photographs periodically spaced along the western wall of the hallway. Interestingly, they all share the same subject matter, a man and a woman together, obviously a couple. The pictures are from a variety of ages. In some, the couple appear to be in high school or college. In others, they're squarely in middle age or approaching elderly. In some, they appear with a boy, obviously their son. At the very end of the hallway is the last picture, which shows a wedding photograph. Beneath the photo is a gilded plaque that reads Edward and Bernice McLean, married March 7, 1971. You realize that these pictures are probably of Butch McLean's parents. It's oddly touching to think of a fearless bank robber like McLean having such a soft spot for his parents. What do you want to do?
Go east.
The bathroom door is labeled with a unisex label and appears to be a remnant from the days when this was part of a gas station. Probably an employee bathroom. The door is unlocked and you push it open and flip on the light switch. It's a pretty standard gas station bathroom, although thankfully it's much cleaner than most gas station bathrooms. To the east is a toilet, and on the southern wall is a sink. On the northern wall is a hand dryer. What's next?
Go east.
The toilet is bone dry, which tells you that the water has probably been shut off for months at the least. The toilet is the standard model you'd find in a gas station, with a ceramic tank at the back. What would you like to do next?
Use matches on toilet.
You strike the match on the side of the matchbox, and it flares into fire. Gingerly, you hold the match under the waxy substance, letting the heat from the flame soften and melt it. You hold the match as long as possible, all the way down to the point where it burns your fingers. You can see that the waxy substance is dripping and almost liquid. Quickly, you yank up on the toilet tank lid, and the lid comes free. You take a look down into the toilet tank and see a plastic Ziploc bag. You reach down and retrieve it. Opening it, you find a small roll of cash, a credit card, a fake driver's license with Butch McLean's face but a false name, and a sprinkling of loose change. Apparently, McLean created a little bug-out bag in case he needed to escape quickly. It's strange that he hid it in the toilet tank, but you suppose it must be easy to become paranoid as one of the FBI's most wanted. You take the credit card, fake ID, roll of cash, and several quarters. What would you like to do?
Go south.
You walk over to the sink, which seems to be a pretty standard model. You turn one of the faucet handles, but no water comes out of the faucet. It appears that the water has been turned off, even if the electricity is still working. Above and to the right of the sink is a clear glass soap dispenser. Now what?
Use whiskey on soap dispenser.
You pour whiskey carefully into the soap dispenser. Little by little, the whiskey mixes with the soap and raises the overall level of the liquid within the dispenser. Finally, you pour to the point where you think you can withdraw the object in the container. You reach in and pull out a tiny plastic tab, about the size and shape of a dog tag. On the plastic tab are printed the numbers 4, 4, 8, 2, 7. Now what?
Go west.
You step back into the hallway. At the north end of the hall is a door. Midway down the hallway on the right is a door marked as a bathroom, and along the other wall of the hallway are a series of framed photographs. What do you want to do?
Go north.
You walk down the hallway to the door at the end of it. It looks virtually the same as the one you just opened, complete with a keyhole that looks similar to the other one. You insert the key you just used and twist, but the key turns only a quarter turn and then sticks. It looks like the lock is jammed. You'll have to find some other way to get through this door. What's next?
Use credit card on door.
You slide the credit card through the crack between the door and the wall, feeling slight resistance as you push the bolt upwards, unlocking the door. You turn the handle and open the door, giving you access to the next room in Butch McLean's hideout. You flip on the light, and immediately your heart begins to beat more quickly. Up against the western wall of the room is a large steel safe nearly the size of a refrigerator with an electronic keypad. Your gaze remains riveted on the safe for a long moment. This must be Butch McLean's loot. Gradually, you become aware of the rest of your surroundings. To the north is a small desk and chair. And to the east, you can see a passageway towards a set of stairs that seem to lead up into the gas station building in Freedom. The passageway is blocked by a chain-link gate. Now what?
Go west.
You approach the enormous safe, almost trembling with excitement. The front of the safe is made up of a large door with a handle, and a keypad in the upper right corner of the door. The keypad consists of 9 buttons bearing the numerals 1 through 9, and an enter button. You'll need to enter the correct sequence of numbers to open the safe. What do you want to do?
Open the safe.
What code do you enter?
44827.
You enter the code, and press enter hopefully. The safe emits a low-pitched beep, and you hear a soft clank within the door. Pulling down on the handle, you swing open the safe door and eagerly look inside, hoping for a glimpse of Butch McLean's loot. But to your disappointment, the safe is empty except for a single sheet of paper with a penny sitting on top of it. Now what?
Take penny.
You pick up the paper and read what's written on it. It reads,
If you're reading this, you're either my no-good brother-in-law Dale or some
Alexa?
other rotten thief trying.
What's in my inventory?
you have the following items: a box of matches, a penny, a key,
Alexa?
a bottle of whiskey.
Go north.
You walk over to the desk against the northern wall of the room. The desk surface is nearly bare, with a few old junk mail advertisements, a pen and an empty coffee mug. The desk has a single large drawer just below the desk surface. Now what?
Use penny on drawer.
You attempt to use the penny as a makeshift screwdriver to loosen the screws. It's working. You remove first the top left screw, then the top right, then the bottom left, and finally the bottom right screw. Once the screws are removed, you're able to slide the drawer out of the desk. It's extremely heavy, and you can barely drag the drawer out of the desk and onto the floor. What would you like to do next?
Look in the drawer.
You look inside, and see an assortment of electronic circuit boards, mechanical parts such as springs and cogs, and other metal bits and pieces. It looks like someone hollowed out the inside of a machine or device of some sort and dumped the contents into this drawer. You also find a crowbar within the drawer, which you take with you. What would you like to do next?
Go south.
You step back into the hallway. At the north end of the hall is a door. Midway down the hallway on the right is a door marked as a bathroom, and along the other wall of the hallway are a series of framed photographs. What do you want to do?
Go east.
The bathroom door is labeled with a unisex label and appears to be a remnant from the days when this was part of a gas station. Probably an employee bathroom. The door is unlocked and you push it open and flip on the light switch. It's a pretty standard gas station bathroom, although thankfully it's much cleaner than most gas station bathrooms. To the east is a toilet, and on the southern wall is a sink. On the northern wall is a hand dryer. What would you like to do?
Go north.
You take a look at the hand dryer unit. It seems to be an early model, and larger than most modern hand dryers. There's a tube at the bottom from which air is supposed to flow, but when you press the button on the front of the machine, nothing happens. Now what?
Use crowbar on hand dryer.
You wedge the crowbar behind the back edge of the hand dryer and give a strong pull. You can feel the hand dryer start to give. You pull again, and it begins to tilt away from the bathroom wall. Another pull, and the hand dryer is leaning at a 45-degree angle. One more pull, and it comes crashing down onto the bathroom floor. You look into the interior of the hand dryer, and instead of machinery you see a black garbage bag. You heave the garbage back out of the hand dryer and open it up. You almost fall backward in delirious shock and happiness. The garbage bag is filled with banded stacks of $100 bills. Lifting the bag, you estimate that it weighs maybe 40 or 50 pounds, and that much weight in cash has to mean a huge sum of money. You've done it. You've discovered Butch McLean's loot. Now what?
Go west.
You step back into the hallway. At the north end of the hall is a door.
Alexa,
Midway down the hall,
go north.
you return to the
Alexa,
room with the giant safe.
Go east.
You make your way over to the gate blocking you from the passageway leading up to ground level. Unfortunately, the gate is padlocked shut with a large iron lock. The lock has a series of 4 dials, each of which rotates so that a number from 0 to 9 is facing up. You will need to enter the correct 4-digit combination in order to unlock the padlock. What do you want to do?
Open the gate.
What 4 numbers do you enter?
3771.
When you swivel the last of the numbers into place, you feel a tiny vibration travel through the padlock. Pulling down, you remove it from the chain-link fence, freeing the way forward and up out of Butch McLean's hideout. Do you wish to go to ground level and freedom?
Yes.
You push open the chain-link gate and walk up the stairs, weighed down by the garbage bag stuffed with $100 bills. All those years spent chasing trivial leads and dead-end clues have paid off in the biggest way possible. You discovered Butch McLean's hideout and uncovered his hidden loot. The fact that you also managed to get yourself out of a minor death trap with minimal injuries is just a cherry on top. Now, you have the rest of your life to spend the fortune bouncing against your back with each step you take up the stairs. You're thinking that a vacation is a good start. Preferably someplace tropical,